My grandfather probably influenced me the most, especially in terms of the brand. Being a Holden employee, and it's kind of, I wouldn't say frowned upon, but wasn't encouraged to drive anything else. Back in the days, it was very much a, Ford, Holden, and a little bit of Chrysler on the side, especially if you're into the motor racing side of it. But yeah, typically like a school, it was a Ford and Holden rivalry, very much so. My grandfather actually used to work for Holden, so he used to work down at Fisherman's Bend, and he always had company cars, so always have recollections of family cars coming and going, and yeah, so I think that's probably what sort of tweaked my interest in cars. But I guess in that period as well, there's a bit of a car culture in Australia. So I currently own 3, what you call classic Holdens. I've got a VK Calais, which I've owned since 1997. That was sort of the first decent car I bought after being a uni student and whatnot. So yeah, I've sort of had a bit of a passion for those back in the day, obviously in high school, and sort of brochures of the new fancy cars and electronic dashboarding the Calais has. So yeah, I'd always wanted one of those when I was a teenager, but could never afford it. So they were sort of fairly expensive car back in the day. We also have a 1988 VL Commodore, or Bellina, family inheritance, I guess you'd call it. So it came from my grandmother's sister. So that was bought new, it was from the family, my grandfather working at Holden. So that spent its whole working life down in Dramata, didn't go anywhere other than that. So it had like 35,000 Ks on it when I got it. It's basically factory original, hasn't been touched. Yeah, so it's a bit of a timepiece. I also own a 1971 LC Torana, which is the second Torana I've had actually. So the first one I bought probably early 90s was basically for a track car. So a mate of mine and myself, we were both into Toranas and doing track days and stuff. So he was going to have my original Torana. He wanted to fix that. He wasn't too fussed about it being a bit of a rust bucket. So we basically went halves in this car. So I bought the body, he bought the mechanicals out of it, and after that we did the swap from my original mechanical components into this car. The primary driver for actually doing the restoration was my grandfather turning 100, which was happening in 2016. So it became a bit of a mad rush sort of towards the end, so spending a lot of time in the weekends and after hours in the garage, cutting, grinding, banging, hammering, upsetting neighbours. We managed to get it done by 2016, and my grandfather saw it on his 100th birthday, which was nice. I'm in the Torana Owners Club, so part of that we have a small group of, small club I guess, 20 odd members. So we do a lot of activities. We've been to various places. We've been to Warrnambool. We've done a couple of annual trips down to Warrnambool. We've done the Torana Fest up in New South Wales. We did that last year. We've also taken part in the Targa Classica a couple of years in a row, which is sort of a lead up to the Grand Prix in Melbourne. So when I purchased the Torana, it was a white two-door S-Pack Torana, nothing particularly special. Had a 173 column shift automatic on it. Yeah, and it was fairly straight, which was good. Didn't have a lot of damage to it previously. It had a fair bit of rust in it. Typical cars from that sort of period, not designed to last 40 odd years. Yeah, so basically it was going to be a rust repair job and just sort of spray over, and that was it. But like a lot of projects with cars, they tend to grow in size, which is what happened to this one. So yeah, so basically turned into a rotisserie restoration job. So full strip of the car, media blasted, yeah, undercoated, then started doing rust repairs. In terms of mechanical stuff, there was not a lot to do. Engine required a bit of a rebuild, had a fresh set of rings and bearings and put in it, but other than that it's been, yeah, sort of probably 6-7 years old prior to that. Yeah. Other mechanical stuff, it's had the Aussie 4-speed reconditioned. So it's basically a Group NC race car gearbox. So built to handle the extra power that the engine generates. And the differential in the car is a standard banjo differential, but it's running a true track center and custom fine spline axles. So no chance of breaking anything. So yeah, in terms of color, it was a bit of a hard choice to make. Originally I was thinking it's either going to be a green or an orange color, because back in the day they had, they call 6 sort of bright colors. So back for that period, so I was sort of keen on green or orange, but at the time I had an orange VF Commodore, so that kind of made up the mind. It's can't have 2 orange cars, so hence going the liniment green option. working for Repco has been good in terms of the car hobby. Yeah, it's not, obviously not the only reason you're working for Repco, but obviously there's a lot of history attached to the business. But yeah, in terms of how it's helping me out, it's really handy in terms of running costs and some motivation to go work on stuff. Especially handy that the fact that they're in rare spares as well. They sell rare spares products in the Repco branches these days, so it makes it a bit easier to get hold of stuff. In terms of cars journeys for the next generation, if you have a passion for cars, go for it. There's no reason you don't need to spend a lot of money up front. Yeah, you can invest in something that you can afford up front and you can work on it and add stuff to it as you go along. Always stepping stones to, once you get your foot in the door, it's a hobby for life. It provides a lot of interest and a lot of excuses to meet people and experience different things. Hi, my name's Jeff and this has been my Repco ride.